Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our first annual variety afternoon of different types of musical entertainment for your enjoyment, all done by volunteers from our congregation. Our first act is Debbie Christ playing Granada on her harp by Augustin Lara. Debbie?
Turn the front lights on. Turn on the house lights. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Debbie. That was beautiful, and I appreciate you sharing your diversified musical talents with us. This morning in church, we heard this wonderful husband and wife duo, but now they return this afternoon, and Mark is going to sing Some Enchanted Evening with Jackie at the piano.
So I think, as most of you know, this is from the movie South Pacific. So maybe pretend these are palm trees. The ocean is outside the window, warm air. I've got my island shirt on. Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you know even then, that somewhere you'll see her again and again. Some enchanted evening, someone may be laughing. You may hear her laughing across a crowded room, and night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reasons, wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you feel her call you across a crowded room, then fly to her side and make her your own. Or all through your life you may dream all alone. Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go.
Thank you, folks. That was quite entertaining. I loved it. And if we have a South Pacific theme for next year's show, we'll be sure to have leis for everybody and palm trees, and we'll have a nice afternoon. Next up, I'd like to present Mr. Fred Christ, who will play the bagpipes for Crimpsey Lover and Amazing Grace. Fred? Where's Fred? There's comes Fred. Thank you, Fred. I don't know how you do that, but it's quite an accomplishment. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, our next performer is the lovely Joanna Dunlap, who is an inspiration to us all. And today she's going to perform Brigadoon by Lerner and Lowe, accompanied by Ted Owens. Joanna?
Like a bell that keeps ringing for me, and from the pain that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I would swear I was falling, swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. Ted! Why, it's almost like being in love. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that just keeps ringing for me, and from the
Thank you, Joanna. As usual, that was a fantastic performance. We always look forward to hearing from you. And now we have another delightful entertainer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce a lovely couple, Martha and Don Jessup. They will be performing a song and dance of A Bushel and a Peck, accompanied once again by Ted Owens.
How would you like to follow that act? Actually, this young lady and I have been married for 116 days, which converts to 70 years, 5 months, and 5 days. This all started way back in the Christmas of 1949. Can you imagine? And I was a college freshman. I was a college sophomore. She was a college freshman. Her mother ran a rooming house for boys. I was one of the boys. So we
Had Christmas.
yeah, we had Christmas, and she gave, we had cookies and punch. You didn't drink that hard stuff in those days, especially not at 19. And I looked over, and there was this beautiful lady playing the piano and singing Christmas carols. So I kind of sidled over there and joined her. But we were both seeing other people at that time. So in the fall of 1950, we just happened to be in the same chemistry class. Well, I guess the chemistry is pretty good because here we are. So we're going to do this little ditty that tells you, it's from Guys and Dolls, and tells you how we kind of feel about each other. I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a hug around the neck, and a barrel and a heap, a barrel and a heap, and I'm walking in my seat about you, about you. I love you, a bushel and a peck, you bet your pretty neck I do. Doodle doodle doodle, doodle doodle doodle, doodle 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 doo. You bet your pretty neck I do. Doodle doodle doodle, doodle doodle doodle, doodle doodle doo.
Wasn't that a delightful performance? Thank you both. That was just great. And Ted, thank you very much for your time in coaching our vocalists and your dedication to the show. And now, a gift for you, for a change. You get to sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Our next performers, we heard earlier, Jackie is going to gift us with a wonderful performance on the organ, performing Concerto in D minor, Movement 1 by Vivaldi, arranged by Johann Sebastian Bach.
It's an old organ.
Thank you, Jackie. That was absolutely so impressive. I don't want to follow you. It's always a pleasure to hear you play. Thank you again. Well, folks, I hope you're enjoying the show so far. We have a 15-minute intermission or thereabouts, so give you a chance to get up, stretch your legs, greet the people, have some refreshments in the break room, and use the facilities. We'll see you shortly. Welcome back, folks. I hope you enjoyed the break. We have a nice new group coming in to entertain you with a song and a sing-along for the audience. Please welcome the Yukettes.
All aboard! This song is about some travelers trying to get to the town of Morrow. But the problem is they want to get to Morrow today. Everybody knows you can't do that.
I started on a journey about a year ago to a little town called Morrow in the state of Ohio. I've never been much of a traveler and really didn't know that Morrow was the hardest place I'd ever tried to go. So I went down to the station and my ticket applied. Not disregarding Morrow, not expecting to be guided. Said I, my friend, I'd like to go tomorrow and return. No later than tomorrow, I haven't time to learn. Say to me, now let me see if I have heard you right. You'd like to go tomorrow and return tomorrow night. You should have gone tomorrow yesterday and back today. For the train that goes tomorrow is a mile up on its way. If you had gone tomorrow yesterday, now don't you see? You could have gone tomorrow and returned today at 3. For the train today, tomorrow, if the schedule is right. Today it goes tomorrow and returns tomorrow night. Said I, my friend, it seems to me you're talking through your hat. There is a town named Morrow on the line, now tell me that. There is, said he, but take from me a quiet little tip. To go from here to Morrow is a 14-hour trip. The train today, tomorrow leaves today at 8:05. And 10:30 tomorrow is the time it should arrive. So if from here to Morrow is a 14-hour jump, can you go today, tomorrow, and get back today today and get tomorrow by tonight if there is no delay. Well, say me to me, and I've got no more to say. Can't get anywhere tomorrow and get back again today. Say, I guess you know it all, but kindly let me say, how can I get tomorrow if I leave this town today?
Said he, you cannot go tomorrow anymore today, 'cause the train that goes tomorrow is a mile upon its way.
I was so disappointed, I was mad enough to swear. The train had gone tomorrow and it left me standing there. That man was right in telling me I was a howling train. I could not go tomorrow, so I guess in town I'll stay.
Thank you, you cats. That was a delightful change in the variety program, wasn't it? It was really enjoyable. Thank you again. Now it gives me a nice pleasure to introduce a new attendee of our church family, Jane Wilson, who will give us her presentation of 12 Bar Blues and Brahm Love. Jane? Wow, Jane, that was so impressive. We're going to have you play some more. Next up is choir member Bob Broyley to entertain us with his piano renditions of Here's That Rainy Day and A Day in the Life of a Fool. And he has a few words to give us before he performs.
Thank you. The first number, Here's That Rainy Day, was composed before 1953 when it was copyrighted by Johnny Burke and Jimmy Van Heusen. And if you're familiar with the music of that era, they did some really great pop numbers. And this is one of my favorite ones, and it also has a sentimental rendition. I'll read you the words. Maybe I should have saved those leftover dreams, honey, but here's that rainy day. Here's that rainy day they told me about, and I laughed and I thought it might turn out, when I thought it might turn out this way. Where is that worn out wish that I threw away? Where is that worn out wish I threw away after it brought my lover near? Funny how love becomes a cold and rainy day. Funny that rainy day is here. I lost a very important person, and I sang and played this at his funeral. So this number has that recollection for me. And with those words, you know, you thought you brought a lover near, and the rainy day was here, and your lover's gone. So on that happy note, This next number, if you're familiar with old foreign films, appeared originally in a film called Black Orpheus from Brazil. And for many years, it was played as a bossa nova, a samba. And then in 1959, Carl Sigmund put words to it. The words are where this title in English comes, and that is A Day in the Life of the Fool. But I just love the rhythms and the chords, and the last one we heard was in the key of G major. This one's in the key of A minor, so there's no sharps except accidentals.
Thank you, Bob. That was a delightful performance, and I had no idea you had those musical skills behind your voice in the choir. We'll have to have you do that again. The Safaro family has always delighted us with their previous performances, and I'm sure that this one will not disappoint us either. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the Safaro family. They will give us a presentation of Siva Samoa.
Batia, Batia, Lua Bati, Delta 5, Delta 5, Tulala, left, Tulala, left, Zawiya.
Wow, folks, that was just wonderful, wasn't it? Wow. They could come back and do that again. Okay, our next performer for this afternoon is another choir member, Tim Rhodes, and he will give us a recitation of The Walrus and the Carpenter. Tim?
Good evening. I thought I'd share with you one of my favorite poems, Lewis Carroll's The Walrus and the Carpenter from Alice in Wonderland. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd, because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining stealthily, because she thought the sun had no business being there after the day was done. It was very rude of him, she thought, to come and spoil her fun. The sea was wet as wet could be, the sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no clouds were in the sky. No birds were flying overhead. There were no birds to fly. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. If this could all be swept away, they said, it would be grand. If 7 maids with 7 mops swept for half a year, do you suppose, the walrus said, that they should get it clear? I doubt it, said the carpenter, and shed a bitter tear. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk along the briny beach. We cannot do with more than 4 to lend a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, which was to say he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters scurried up, all eager for the treat. Their hair was combed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this is odd because, you know, they haven't any feet. 4 other oysters scurried up, and yet another 4, and thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more, all hopping through the frothy waves and scurrying to the shore. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock conveniently low, and all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the walrus said, to speak of many things. Of ships and shoes and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, of why the sea is boiling hot and whether pigs have wings. But just a bit, the oyster cried, turning a little blue. But just a bit, the oyster cried. For some of us are out of breath and all of us are fat. No hurry, said the carpenter. They thanked him much for that. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar, besides, are very good indeed. Now, if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed. But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness, that would be a dreadful thing to do. The night is fine, the walrus said. Do you enjoy the view? It was so kind of you to come. You are so very nice. The carpenter said nothing but, cut me another slice. I do wish you weren't half so deaf. I've had to ask you twice. It seems a shame, the walrus said, to play them such a trick, after we've made them come so far and made them trot so quick. The carpenter said nothing, but the butter spread too thick. I weep for you, the walrus said. I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears, he sorted out those of the largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streaming eyes. Oh, oysters, said the carpenter, now that we've had our fun, shall we be trotting home again? But answer came there none, and this was scarcely odd because they'd eaten every one.
Thank you, Tim. That was very lighthearted presentation. I enjoyed it. At this time, I would like to ask all of our participants in today's show to stand up and receive the rightful recognition. It was a delight to organize and host today's event, and frankly, we are so blessed to have so many wonderful God-given talents, and thank you all for sharing them with us. Thank you, folks, and we hope to see you again soon. I hope you enjoyed the show.